Assalamu alaikum. What if I told you that there are 7 money principles that could help you to make your first million as a Muslim teenager or if you are in your early 20s? In today's video, I'm about to outline all of the principles that helped my agency to generate over hundreds of thousands of dollars every single month. Alhamdulillah, it gave me the freedom to now move here and live in Dubai, grow a business that is in line with the deen, and practice my faith without compromise. Alhamdulillah. Now, the first principle, and this is where it all starts, is the core of the business that you pick. I mean, as a starter, you have to pick a business that requires low investment, but produces high income. I mean, as a starter, most of the time, you don't have an immense, huge capital to invest. Especially as a Muslim teenager or in your early 20s. You want to have a business that is lean, that doesn't require a lot of money and a lot of investments to start even. And when I talk about investments, it's not just money. It's also the investment of energy, time. You want something that is scalable, but also could work besides your studies, your sports, your hobbies, and everything else. And that's why I pick a service-based business. It is a business where you help your clients by providing services, such as creating websites, video editing, social media maintenance, lead generation, marketing, or anything like that. And the reason why I picked that over a product-based business is because products and e-commerce in general requires a lot of investment upfront. There's a lot of risk. You have to invest in marketing, in stocks. You have to get a lot of volume, a lot of clients in order to even make it profitable, because you need 200 clients paying you something of $50 on a web shop to get $10,000 in revenue. But if you sell a website for $2,000 or marketing service for $2,000 per month, you only need 5 clients. Just 5 clients in order to make $10,000. That's a huge difference, right? 200 clients versus 5 clients. And not just that. I mean, this 10K that I demonstrated right over here is in both scenarios 10K in revenue. But since you have so much more investments in your stocks, your products, your marketing that you need to do when it comes down to e-commerce, this 10K in revenue maybe only equals 3K in profit. While the service-based business, on the other hand, if you set it up in the right way, such as we do with our agency, myself, we have close to 70% in profit, meaning that you keep $7,000 out of this 10. And the reason why this is the first principle that I mentioned right over here is because I see so many young Muslims making the mistake of choosing for e-commerce, drop shipping, or even building complex software solutions. They try to think outside of the box. Well, you don't have to. The first stepping stone to becoming financially free is that you pick something that is lean and in line with your faith. But the second principle is build a powerful network. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, your network is your shortcut to success. For real. Opportunities, clients, partnerships, they often come from the people you know. Now, a lot of Muslims in general that start with business, they think it's all about knowledge. And yes, knowledge is important. You need to watch YouTube videos like this. You need to read books. You need to, investigate. But the people around you in your network, they will help you to turn that knowledge into action. So as a young Muslim that wants to become financially free, especially from such a young age, you need to start building relationships, powerful relationships early on. You need to show up where business-minded people, where they gather, where they are building. And you do that by building a personal brand yourself online. I'm not saying start a YouTube channel, do all this crazy stuff, but I'm just saying make sure you are out there, because networking and building connections, it starts online most of the time, even for myself. I did a lot of things on LinkedIn, for example, or Instagram in the beginning. You would be surprised how far you can get. And not just online. I mean, it's also going to events, talking to people who you might already know. Maybe you have an uncle who is in business. Give him a call and ask him if he can introduce you to others. Maybe you have a far friend that is also in business. This is where it all starts. Because one good connection of yours might have 5 other connections that might be interesting for you. And those connections might have more. So it's a snowball effect. If I look back into my journey myself, I think my network got me the most new opportunities, the business partners that I got, everything. It literally came out of my network. So if there's one advice that I can give you is invest your time right over there. It's so important. Principle number 3 is invest in mentorships. I'm not just saying buy a random course online, because there's a lot of crap out there, okay? Don't get me wrong. But the fastest way to grow is to learn from people who already went through that path and already have done and achieved what you want to achieve. Think of mentorships, coachings, and programs. They can cut years off of your journey, your learning curve. You can literally fast track that process. And trust me, I've invested over $100,000 into my own personal development. It started with reading simple books, to buying a few programs, all the way up to buying a lot for just one-on-one calls with successful entrepreneurs. I've had a lot of mentors throughout my journey, and I still do, till this date. The real winners, they don't guess, they don't do random things. They analyze the market, they analyze people who have literally went through that process. And that's so powerful. That's sometimes why I wonder, Why are people, they have these goals, but they don't achieve it? It's most of the time because of ignorance. They don't want to listen. They don't want a mentorship. They don't want a coach that can tell them what they do wrong and what they can do better. I was one of them. I mean, alhamdulillah, I'm right now 8 years, 9 years almost in business. The first 1-2 years, I was ignorant. I wanted to do everything myself. I was reading books. I was like watching those YouTube videos, but I was afraid to make an investment. There's actually one thing that I really regret not doing earlier, because once I started doing it, it just saved me so much time. But especially for us as Muslims, it's very important that you make a decision that is also in line with your faith. Because how many gurus do we know that are flexing with these nice cars, the parties, and the haram lifestyle? So that's why I'm saying, like a big disclaimer, don't just buy a random course. Analyze it. Check what he's even promoting. And try to find someone in your network who is willing to help you. My first mentor actually was a client of mine. And later on, I started investing in online programs, one-on-one mentorships. You know, you start simple, but you level up by time. Now, the fourth principle comes close to the first one. Remember how I said, pick a lean business module, pick something that is service-based. And the fourth principle right over here is learn a high-income skill. Because before you can actually build a scalable business and a system that works for you, you need a skill that actually makes that money. A high-income skill that is literally the foundation of freedom. It is that thing that gives you leverage, confidence, and prove that you can create value on demand. I mean, right now, like literally, if you would take everything away from me, it would not take me 8 or 9 years to get back to the same point. Because all the skills that I've acquired from networking, sales, web design, marketing in general, it's all here in my head. So I can execute and build upon that like right away again. The best investment that you can make in yourself is by learning and developing yourself, learning skills, gaining knowledge. Because life consists of those ups and downs. Even the most successful entrepreneurs that I know sometimes have been bankrupt, but they are back on track right before you know. Why? Because of knowledge. Because they have skills. Business in general is just a game of value. The more valuable you can be for others, the more opportunities you can create, and the more money you can earn. So that's why I'm also saying, don't chase random hustles online of like these side hustles and the little business ideas that people have, but learn something valuable that can help you on the long term. Learn something that a lot of people are already paying money for. I mean, it's a no-brainer, right? We can see literally in the market, people are paying so much for websites, applications, marketing, all these services. Why don't you learn how to do it and you can make money? These opportunities are there, also for us Muslims. The only thing we need to keep in mind is that we keep our intentions clear and make sure that the clients that we work with are not like against our religion, are halal and ethical. Now the fifth principle, and now we're getting a little bit deeper, is that you have to learn about systems, automation, so that you can master scaling. Now what do I mean by that? Once you find something that works, a business model, a service, a system that brings in money, your next step isn't to do just more of the same things manually, because we all have just 24 hours in a day. And now how come that some millionaires and billionaires are making so much while the average Joe also has the same 24 hours? It's because of leverage. It's because these people understand that you need to build systems, scalable systems around the things that work. Because if you really want to aim for that million, you should not do everything yourself. You should outsource, hire teams, implement AI, automate systems. I mean, just think about it. You have 24 hours a day, but someone who owns a company with 100 employees has 100 times 24 hours a day. That is almost 2,500 hours per day that he can do. I mean, of course, an employee doesn't work 24 hours, but you get my point. This is leverage. That's why I also always say, once you find the right product market fit, you have a business that works. It's all about people and systems. So start with that step by step. Don't overcomplicate it. You can optimize by time. But keep in mind that this is needed in order to get to that level. Now, the sixth principle is be clear about what you offer. Because clarity beats complexity every time. The biggest mistake that many Muslim entrepreneurs in their early years are making is trying to be and do everything to everyone. But the thing is, when you say you can kind of do everything, you sound uncertain. And someone that can do everything will never be good at one specific thing. People need to know what you can actually bring to the table. You have to make sure that you focus and don't just become a little bit good in a high value income skill or anything that I just shared here today. You need to become the expert. You need to become very, very good. And the only way to do that is if you commit and stick to one thing. People must know you as the person who is the best in creating websites, or who is the best in marketing and always guarantees results. Not the guy who can do everything and switches from business module every single day. Because trust and loyalty in everything, even in love relationships, it comes from consistency. It comes from like literally making the same decision over and over again and becoming better at the same thing. So be specific. Know your offer inside out. You know, like I said, when people hear your name, they should immediately know what the problem is that you can solve. Because clear offers attract clear clients. The clearer you are, the easier it is for others to refer to you, to talk about you, and to pay you. So choose for simplicity every time. Now the seventh and final principle is make sure to make money work for you, not the other way around. Because the most important rule when speaking about the rich is that they understand that the goal isn't to work for money. It's to make money, build systems, and get people that work for you. And once your business starts to generate the first cash, a lot of people trap themselves by doing everything alone, everything themselves. But you should use that first revenue, that first money, to buy back your time, to multiply your results by making the right decisions, making the right investment, hiring the right contractors and employees. Because I see so many Muslims, they quit their 9 to 5 or they stop their studies because they don't want to work for a boss. But instead of working a 9 to 5, instead of working 40 hours a week, they end up working 80 hours a week for themselves, being stressed, having a burnout, don't even liking what they do. This is a big trap. Even if you look into the statistics of businesses, most of them fail in the first few years because the way they operate is still too much in the mindset of how an employee functions. But as a business owner, you need to be a leader. You need to create opportunities and think a lot of steps ahead. It's like playing a chess game. You know what they say, work smart, not hard. But I like the combination because people who work smart while they are also working hard, they are very dangerous, all right? In business, it's all about speed. And these principles that I shared here with you today are the building blocks and the stepping stones for you to navigate and to build halal wealth for yourself. Now, if you want an actual step-by-step plan and a training where I break down my business on how I did this, then check out this video right over here where I literally break down everything, the first steps into picking the right business module and understanding where to start and the steps that you need to take in order to build halal wealth and a business that is in line with your faith. Now may Allah bless you and I'll see you in the next video. Assalamu alaikum.